Hi, everybody. This is Todd Creager, and today I'm continuing my series here on working with the person who betrayed the betrayer. And I think it's important for the betrayer to listen. But if you're a partner of someone who did betray you, this is important for you to watch as well. Today, my talk is on facing the consequences. Facing the consequences from a betrayer is very important in terms of how the betrayer faces the consequences. Very important because how you face the consequences will sometimes determine whether your relationship can not only survive but heal, and also just for your own well-being, even if your relationship terminates. And it is really important to understand the importance of facing consequences maturely and well. So the first question that people might ask me who betrayed, what if they leave? How do I handle it? What if my partner leaves? What if I have to live separately from my family? How do I handle it? Because that could happen. That does happen, whether it's a permanent separation or a temporary separation. If your partner leaves, let's just talk about the partner, not the whole family right now. You have to recognize that your partner is reeling in a lot of pain and dealing with very difficult things. This is not a time for you to let panic take over, nor is it time for you to become self absorbed and to think about yourself. You don't want to deal with loss in an immature way. Part of dealing with loss is accept what is. There's a loss. Again, whether it's temporary or permanent, you need to handle it with the intention to be a better person. Maybe you messed up, you did, by cheating. Secrets are terrible. But now, how you handle this stage post discovery of the infidelity, even if your partner leaves, is going to give you at least another chance to make better choices. So, sure, there were poor choices and that led to this moment, but now I want you to get motivated to say, this is a time where I can make better choices, even if it hurts. How do I handle it? Be willing to bear pain. Don't resist it. Don't insist that everything should be good. Don't insist that your partner should just get over it. Just accept what is. What is that you made a decision, there's cost and pain, and if your partner needs to leave, don't take it as a punishment for you, even if it feels that way. Take it as your partner who was betrayed is trying to have some sense of protection or sense of self-respect. All that is very important for your partner. As a matter of fact, I want you to root for your partner to be as happy as possible, whether you get your way or not. Whether you get your way or not. I have several couples in my caseload right now where the partner betrayed again, there's multiple infidelities, and the spouse is basically saying, that's it, I am done. I think I have right now really three situations like that right now. I could tell you that there are different responses I'm seeing from the betrayers. And the one that I'm thinking would be a good model is feeling the pain, is feeling the devastation, definitely does not want his partner to leave. He is wanting her to trust him that he will this time do it right, but she has been through a lot of this times and she is not at this moment in time, or maybe never, willing to reconcile. And even though he's very upset, he's handling it like seeing it like your happiness is important. And he even said the words, if leaving me is going to make you happier, then I need to accept that. And he's not running away from his reality. He's accepting his reality. You got to be willing to handle loss maturely, again, whether it's temporary or permanent. And you need to honor your partner's needs to leave if they're going to leave. Other consequences are you have kids, family, extended family, friends. How do you explain this to them? Now, obviously, you don't have to necessarily, depending on the context. Obviously, little children don't need to know those kinds of details. And if there's obviously kids, though, will be tuned into something's not good in the house. And you have to be, I'm not going to go into the whole thing here about what's age appropriate to tell different children, but obviously children can be, you don't want to deny, yeah, we're having some issues, mom, and I'm sorry if it's upsetting you, but we'll always be here for you. We'll love you, but we're having some issues. And for little children, that might be all you need to say. For older kids, teenagers, many times I've had several now where the teenagers were the ones that caught the parent in the actual infidelity, or at least they're old enough to know what's going on. Then in those cases, it's oftentimes important to face it and tell the truth and say, look, I did this. I did this. There's a part of me that acted it out. And so you, again, just like I said about dealing with how do you handle them leaving, you have to handle this maturely too. Again, being appropriate based on the age of your children. And you need to be big and accept that you might get found out, that there's another part of you that people didn't see or know about. You know, you might not even have been aware of it until you started acting out, but you did it. You made that choice. You, again, have to accept that. With family other than kids, that's up to you and your partner who is told and who's not. I've seen many different situations, but if for some reason it seems necessary to tell family, or if your partner needed to have support, which sometimes they do, and they needed to share it, you just own it. Yeah, there's a part of me that did that. I have things to look at. I have hurt my spouse, and I'm sorry for that, and I gotta face it and deal with the consequences. Friends, same thing. Again, who you tell, how do you explain it? You own it. You tell the truth, which is related to the next question. How do I own it, but without defensiveness? You own it by recognizing you're human. A lot of people cheat. It's not necessary. I'm not saying it's good, but a lot of people cheat. It's part of the human phenomena. We need to look at that. That's my part of my job, is to understand why there's so much of it. But you have to own it. What you did was hurtful. It was what I call an interpersonal crime, meaning that you stole from your partner the opportunity to make decisions based on what was really true, because you had these secrets, and your partner was being with you, living with you, even loving with you under false pretenses. And that's a form of robbery, as I look at it. However, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. So this is not a time to beat yourself up. So facing the consequences maturely actually will be assisted by you practicing accepting that this is a part of me. It's something is not okay. I got to look at why I made those choices, but I am not going to beat myself up. I don't have to let shame take me over. And the more you accept that about you, that yes, I am capable of cheating, I am capable of doing that pain, and I've done it. You know, a lot of people, they say, I can't believe what I did. You did it. You're human. A lot of humans have done it, and it's not okay. But you have to face it and realize that the more you accept it, the less chance you'll be defensive. Because why defend yourself from what already is true? There's no defense. You did what you did. There were reasons for it, but there's no excuse, right? And we want to look at the reasons. We don't want to demonize you. You don't want to demonize yourself. And you need to be, again, like the other answers, and probably the next thing I'm going to talk about too is be mature. And part of being mature is deciding to not resist the pain, to realize life is oftentimes painful. You have inflicted pain, and you also have pain about it as well. And you accept it, you own it without blaming the other person and without defending yourself, because you don't have to. You're not bad. You are in your core a good person. But yeah, I'm not going into in this talk, but you did some things based on maybe some factors that you were conscious of or unconscious of, and you need to pay attention and take a look and change it. The last thing is, the question is, how do I accept the outcome even if it's not what I want? Again, similar to, this is just, these questions coming right out of my practice, and how I'm responding is coming right out of my practice of decades. How do I accept that? You either resist reality or you don't. When you resist reality, it really doesn't change your reality. It just makes it even worse. So you have to let go of resisting what the outcome is, what your partner has decided to do. If you don't get what you want, maybe your partner's leaving. Maybe you've been found out by people you wished hadn't known. Maybe there's been some collateral damage with children. Maybe I've had people where they have infected their partner with a sexually transmitted disease. These are all things that could happen. And none of these things might be what you want. Maybe what you really wanted was to just be forgiven and to move on with things the way they were, or at least stay together. Doesn't always happen that way. You have to accept you're human. You're not special. You're special. We all are special. But you're not special in the sense that there are consequences for your choices. We have to accept that. And so you just make a decision to accept it. You make a decision that I'm going to be mature. I'm going to bear the pain. I'm not going to live my life in what I call tension-reductive ways, where a lot of people do. The average person does. It's not enough. Tension-reductive ways. As soon as I feel tension, I do something to relieve it. Maybe I blame, maybe I project, maybe I act out in some other ways. Maybe I don't own it, don't take responsibility because I don't want to feel the reality of what I did. No, that's not what you want to do. Don't fight reality. Accept your consequences maturely. And if you didn't get what you want, accept that. Continue to look at it as, what do I need to grow on? How do I need to grow up? And what do I need to develop in myself? And you do everything you can so that you have the best possible life you could have. And that if you end up getting another relationship, if this one didn't make it, or if you stay together, that you could be the best possible person for that person, as well as for yourself. So I hope you take this the way I meant it, which is, it's a time to make choices now that are better, even though the previous choices were not your best choices, and handle it like you can, like a mature person. I could do this, in practice, not inflicting more damage on yourself and others. So thanks for listening. This is Todd Creager, making the world safe for love.